Buenos días, Pritam Siri. Buenos días, friends. On the other side, we have a very amazing, wonderful master visiting us today in the island of Puerto Rico. And I had the privilege to learn from her this weekend, which I am really grateful. Her name is Pritam Siri, and I would like to welcome you to Semillas de Amor and to learn from you so our friends can know your story, and welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Gracias.
So, Pritam Siri, I would like to ask you about your story and how did you get yourself into Kundalini. If you can explain what is Kundalini, please.
Yes, thank you, Yaosca. Thank you so much. I teach and practice Kundalini yoga and meditation. How I got into this was I was doing like other workouts and doing a little bit of hot yoga. And then I was thinking, isn't yoga supposed to be kind of spiritual? So I Googled spiritual yoga. That's literally how I got into it, which is a lot of people find us. I Googled spiritual yoga, and then I found a Kundalini studio where I was living. And that was it. The rest is history. It was very different. I was in really good shape at the time, and I went in pretty like cocky, and and then it kicked my ass, and I was like, what's going on here? What is this? Because it's a completely different type of strength. It's a nervous system strengthening practice, and it includes breath work, meditation, mantras, sound healing, relaxation. So it's a very complete science, and you see a lot of, breath work is very popular, meditation is very popular. In traditional like setup of Kundalini yoga, it's a complete practice. You get everything within one session, and you leave like, I don't know, you tell me how you feel after.
Well, I can tell you that I am very yes, I feel complete with the practice because it takes you to another level. It's upgrading yourself. And the most interesting part is that each exercise has an intention set to create new programs in your nervous system to help you break patterns, to upgrade yourself, there's one ego eradicator that I learned this week. The other one to, reprogram your brain in 3 minutes is so impressive.
It's really sophisticated. It really is really impressive.
Yes.
And kind of futuristic, like ancient and futuristic.
Yes. Yes. So how would you, in your perspective, think that we need to place in what is the why people should start making this practice in this time and space that we are living in humanity? How can humanity benefit from this in when we, sometimes we become trapped in our little mundane lives, and what is the benefit that this can bring not only to ourselves but to our families, because this weekend we were practicing with our children as well, which I'm really grateful to.
Yeah. So beautiful. Well, there's just an immense benefit to it, and there's so many different ways that you can go about incorporating these practices into your lives. Kundalini, by definition, is kind of this dormant creative power, this latent energy at the base of the spine. And when it is flowing, which the simple practices, like in 3 minutes, it can happen, or really in one breath. But when this energy is moving through you, you're not susceptible to the normal constraints of time and space. So the aging process is totally different. The like reproductive system is very healthy. Your creativity, it's a creative power. So like if you're an artist, you don't have to worry about losing your creativity or having like a one hit and never having another hit kind of thing. And your health is really changed. There's, you're programming on a cellular level, and I understand a lot of people need science, like modern scientific understanding to get themselves to believe or be motivated in it. But you don't need to believe in it. Like my teacher says, like, do you need to believe in like the waves in the ocean to feel them? No. So it's really, you just have to practice it, and then your experience will be what tells you what is what.
Wow.
And also the reason that I find like most important for us to be practicing at this time is to gain mental and emotional sovereignty. Mm-hmm. Especially as we were talking about before with younger generations. There's like a kind of mass hypnosis of media everywhere now.
Mm-hmm.
This is the age of information and technology, and it's really exciting and really resourceful, and we get to be here and we get to broadcast it out, and that's just the beginning of something much greater, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But all this information is just dropping into our consciousness, into the top of our head. We call it the crown chakra. All these thoughts, and sometimes they're not your own. So you have these ideas. Oh, I should, change this. Oh, this about me isn't good. Or, I should dress a certain way or whatever. It's kind of a mass programming.
Yes.
And this is, if the third eye is open, if the pituitary gland is secreting, which the meditation does, mm-hmm. then you can have the discernment to decide what's good for you and what's not good for you. What is like making me energized, mm-hmm. happy and excited, mm-hmm. and what is just making me feel uncomfortable and stressed and taking away my energy. And so like that's the duality. That's every moment we can choose a thought that is a higher, more positive thought and leads to another higher, more positive thought. And then you're living in a completely different time frame. But many people don't know they even have this capacity to choose, mm-hmm. and to discern what is a resourceful thought and what is just kind of junk that's being filtered through because I'm not supposed to feel good about myself because there's $1 billion industry made for me not to feel good about myself. So I must not, rather than saying like, wait a second, I am this infinite creative being who, is completely unique. And if I don't actualize my gifts, no one else will, because only I have them. Only you have yours. And that's kind of the potentiality that humanity has. So it's hard to think, everyone's like, what can I do? I don't matter. Like, I'm really over that kind of narrative around the thing, because in this certain time on the planet, everybody has to wake up to their own power and experience it, experience their own strength, their own creativity, their own will, and fulfillment, which just means like being really happy, not happy all the time, but fulfilled, that you're on a path that is fulfilling your soul, like what you came here to do. And to even begin to understand what that is, you need a little bit of the meditative mind to open up the portal of what is actually exciting to me, like on a deep level. And then you fulfill that. Everyone around you benefits because they're around somebody who's like happy and excited and doing cool things. Mm-hmm. And then it creates this ripple effect around the whole planet. So it's very important for that. And then it's also important in terms of bringing harmony and peace to the earth, that we get energetic sovereignty. I'm using the word sovereignty because that's the word that I'm thinking of right now, but being able to master our own emotions, process them in a healthy way, clean our own energy field, all these kinds of things, create a protective shield around us. I mean, the layers of possibilities that do happen with this practice are so endless, and you don't have to be into like learning about it. You could just practice it. You can practice it like a workout, or you could practice like devotionally, towards your higher self, or towards your future, or towards whatever kind of energies that you connect to and that you believe in. But it doesn't have to be spiritual, even, because it is an ancient science, and modern science is catching up to it. And there are people who are slowly exposing and doing studies on the benefits for sleep and Alzheimer's and stress, like Kundalini specific meditations, and it's being mentioned on podcasts and all these things. So it's definitely getting out there, and we're just at the forefront of a massive shift.
Wow. Yes. And it's interesting. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. And I another interesting thing that I learned this weekend is that when we were practicing, you say this will get rid of the subconscious trash that we carry, because the majority of the time we're operating from that system. So can you share a little bit more about that, please?
So the understanding is that with every blink of an eye, what is it, 10,000? 1,000 thoughts drop into the head. 1,000 thoughts into the crown chakra every blink of an eye. That's the immense amount of stuff that comes in. And then based on what state you're in, you can choose a certain thought. So if you have a lot of energy, if you have enough chi, you've heard the word chi or prana or just energy. If you have enough energy in your system, that is kind of the first step to being able to choose something more, because most of the time the negativity depletes about 30% of our energy. Every negative thought takes away 30%. That's a huge amount. And then you have another negative thought. You're like, well, this sucks, and I suck, and they suck, and I'm tired, and my head hurts, and then I had a long day, and then suddenly you're like, I'm exhausted. And it's like, of course you're exhausted, because you followed the train of negativity, which it's not giving you energy. So another definition of this is you're either in following a non-reality or reality, and how to understand that is just that reality gives you energy. And non-reality doesn't give you energy, and it's not necessarily like what is true, because that is different for everyone. So you have to program yourself to have these thoughts that are energizing you. Even if you're like not the smartest person in the room, you can tell yourself, I'm the smartest person in the room, and then your neurons will start to fire differently and actually create that to be a possibility. I am, the grace of the infinite, or whatever you want to call it. I am healthy,
Victory. You say yesterday. Victory.
That's one of my favorite mantras, because it's easy and it's an English mantra. We can do it together. So inhale deep, hold the breath, close the eyes, and then mentally say victory, 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 victory. Just say it as many times as you can mentally on the held breath. And then you can exhale when you need to exhale. One more time, inhale. Deep, full breath through the nose. Hold the breath, and then mentally just say victory, victory, victory. And exhale. And you can do this at any point. I mean, obviously you can't close your eyes when you're driving a car, but at any point you have to say that because people are having special moments out there. At any point you can just inhale, hold the breath, and have that moment when you're in chaos, when you're in, stress or whatever you're up against. You're at work, you're with your children. You're in the bathroom on a date, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we have to get ourselves back into the place of our own power, and it's not taking anyone else's power away. It's actually showing them that they could also be in their power. There's plenty to go around.
It resonates a lot with me what you say. When you are living your reality, you're full of energy, and when you are living a non-reality, it depletes you. So that's very interesting to apply as well, like, and also come to terms to understand that we create that reality ultimately.
Yeah, I find it to be super fun. Like, it's actually really fun to live this way, where you're like hunting energy. And what I've realized recently personally is that what gives me energy is like not necessarily what you would think. So we have like, self-care. Everyone knows the term self-care, and it's like, go take a bath and take a nap and and then you realize that like all these things are like tools, and it's helpful referentially to see how other people live and how they thrive, but ultimately it will literally always come back to you knowing yourself. Because I realized like, oh, I actually should be waking up earlier to do this thing that I thought was going to take away my energy. I didn't want to teach this class at 7 a.m. anymore. I'm like, wait, it would have given me more energy if I was doing the 7 a.m. because that serving like just keeps the fuel running all the time.
Yes.
So you have to know what your thing is, and sometimes it gives you energy to just like turn on the TV for an hour. Sometimes it completely depletes you. So it's not another place for us to be neurotic or overthinking. It's just an opportunity that if you want to spend a few minutes meditating a day, the intuition will open, and then if you spend some time breathing deeply or doing some breath practices, you will gain more energy. The yoga will make you stronger, and then you don't even have to worry about, oh, should I no, you're just on the path. It saves so much time of the stopping to analyze. And that's actually one of the yogic ways of looking at things, is that we are very forward moving. We're not looking back and analyzing necessarily a lot of the time. So if you stop the train of thought and you say, wait, I don't know, because I did this before and then they were mean to me and so maybe I shouldn't, and you see how like I'm losing energy right now, if you just trust yourself and made the decision and just kept going forward, the compound interest of all the energy that you are stacking up is immense. And this is something that is common in traits of highly successful people, like top CEOs and stuff, is that the decision-making process is very quick.
Yes.
So there's no sitting and talking and philosophizing. And my teacher says that philosophers, lunatics, and lovers are in the same category, right? So these can all be kind of just like little crazy worlds that take you away from the present. I just think it's funny that he put lovers in there with lunatics.
Yes, why not?
And philosophers. So it's beautiful to like have introspective moments, but when it comes to like our mission, we're very onward, next energetic moment. And it's just, you live this way with your synchronicities and your mission. It becomes very magical.
Wow, thank you. Yes, and also I feel that it doesn't leave space for doubt. It's assertive. It's an assertive practice. And I love that. So thank you for sharing. And I would like to know, because like you say something interesting, that the industry is depositing billions of dollars in programming into make us feel bad about ourselves. What would be your advice for this young generation that is really, in the spot to not having, this is something that should be taught in schools, like how to manage your emotions, especially going through young age as teenagers, where you're still trying to figure out your character and personality, and that if you don't have a strong or solid foundation, you can easily get distracted from the path. And how would you encourage the youth to participate and, yes, in this practice?
I think that there's so many ways that they should just tap into it and see what they like to do. But if you're in a situation where you feel like insecure about who you are, or how you're presenting, or what you are, or how you're relating to others, or stressed, or whatever, this is happening earlier and earlier in ages, there's nothing wrong with you. First and foremost, like you're a human being. Everybody goes through that. And there's nothing wrong with you. But the quickest way to get on the other side of that is to just have more energy, more breath. So some of these shorter yogas that are just 3 minutes, 11 minutes of movement, it's this multi-dimensional strength training. So we have to be very strong. Like, I can't imagine, like, teenagers are scary. Like, you're walking through school and you're wearing an outfit, for example, that may not be on trend and that nobody else is wearing like you. Like, that's a big deal, and that takes a lot of energy. And maybe you strive to be the kind of person who does that, and that's cool. You just need to have a little bit more breath. Victory, victory, victory in this system. I do know a teenager who started to apply that, and that was very helpful. Just inhaling, holding the breath, mentally chanting victory.
Wow, yes. I'm gonna practice that with my children.
Yeah, they can use it whenever they need to in school, And
yes.
It's okay to have there's like a herd mentality. It's okay to have different opinions, I would also say, than other people. It's okay also to experiment. There's this weird narrative that everybody needs to have everything figured out at an early age. And it's okay to just like go through your phases of creative expression and trying things. Like, there is no better time than now to do that. And the biggest thing about what we do ultimately is that it's a training for death. It's a death training. So you don't want to be, the sooner you can get started, the more profound of a life you can have. It's just really epic. So you don't want to be regretting that you were like timid because so-and-so was judging you. Like, that's so silly. You're going to be like, wait a second. Yes. That was so dumb. So that's normal, but we're so exuberant and beautiful and radiant naturally as human beings. We want to express that in its totality. And then, like I said before, the more you are like fearless, not, as we would say, no fucks given, the more you have that energy, the more other people are like, oh, they can do that, I can do that, I didn't know I could do that. So you become this lighthouse of opportunity for people to see how fun and how creative and how intelligent we can be.
Yes. Thank you for that encouragement too. And also, I would like to tell that sometimes when we are in this teenage and we follow the trends, it doesn't give space, like you say, to experiment who we truly are, because we've been put in this box of like, this trend, this is the trend, everybody has to follow this trend. And it's not like, you create your own trend, like in your own experiment. And also, I like what you say, that it can be short, with the fast pace that is going in society right now.
Yeah.
It's like fast, 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 fast. But with 3 minutes, 11 minutes, it can shift your day.
Yeah, massively it can be short. And the other funny story, just for reference of the trends, is one of my teachers moves to California. She's walking down the street. She's like, in Venice. It was probably, it was a long time ago, but walking down the street and thinking, should I get a boob job? I should get a boob job. Like, yeah, I should get a boob. I should get like new boobs. And then she just realizes, oh, this is a collective thought that dropped in my head. It's not my own. So you can like let these thoughts run out and follow them. And then you might realize, oh, this isn't, you don't have to follow it to the finish line.
Yes.
Like, do I want to like massively change my face? I could do this. This is, you can go through all the factors of how it would feel, and the right and the, the good and the bad, and the pros and the cons. It's okay to like to consider things, but know that if something is happening in a mass way, there's usually some negative sort of agenda behind it.
Yes, absolutely. Because even, the implants that are put in our bodies, it really goes into the women's, the chest, our heart, and it's like a shield that doesn't let you receive. And also, imagine if you decide to make an implant. It's something that is not naturally created by your body, and it's just pulling you apart from the true nature. Like aging is something that is being demonized, and like, oh no, it's so bad. Mm-hmm. And in our cultures, las abuelas, the grandmothers, we see them with reverence. Every how you call in English, wrinkle is seen with honor, because it's knowledge, and we make them part of our families. They are part of our families. We never send them to these places, like these houses, or so. It's a wrong perception, or distorted. And what are your advice to really connect with the true beauty? Because I see you, and this weekend we were talking about how beautiful your porcelain skin and your whole being is. And
well, it's very much a radiant body thing. It's an aura thing, which is the Kundalini yoga is different than other yoga because it works with the aura. Mm-hmm. And that's the main difference. They call it like a Raj or royal yoga because in the traditional yoga you'd recognize 7 chakras, and then in Kundalini we recognize an 8th and work with an 8th, and the 8th chakra is the aura. And the aura is a massive tool. It's the house you live in. So it has a certain frequency. We can increase the wattage, mm-hmm. which will just make you super bright.
What is the wattage?
The wattage, the resonance at which it vibrates. So like a stationary object has an aura, a plant has an aura, an animal has an aura of about 3 feet, a human has an aura of about 9 feet, but it can be extended much, much further. And there's all sorts of tools you can use to adjust that and to increase your own radiance. And again, it's a relationship with yourself. One of my favorite ways to do it is what I call drala. Mm-hmm. So you dress in a way that makes you feel good, also known as your own regalia. And it's said that if you dress in your own regalia, nobody can fuck with you. So it's a certain like, and you meet people and they wear a certain outfit and you're like, whoa, they have something going on there. So there's ways to exalt yourself all sorts of different ways. One is to wear natural fibers, to wear.
Yes, they contain vibration as well, right?
Yeah, there's all sorts of teachings around that are really interesting. But even just starting by having this self-dignity and respect to dress and care for yourself like you are of a certain like royalty. Even especially when you don't feel good about yourself, that's like a big thing, that you really just adorn yourself. That'll change the aura instantly. And then the mantras, we like victory is a mantra. We use these things, they change the aura because we're wearing our thoughts like on our face. That's the other beauty thing, is that people think that they can like lie, and in the age of Aquarius nobody can lie because it's written on your face, like it's very obvious. So if you have worry, and if you have stress, and if you're insecure, it's usually very clear, and then it dims the aura and all that kind of stuff. So you want to just constantly, fake it till you make it. I think that gratitude is like very cheesy, and I resisted it for a really long time, and now I'm understanding that it's the basis of everything. Right? So even if I don't feel like it, I have to recite what I'm grateful for, which instantly takes you out of your neurosis of self kind of obsession. Anything that manifests like depression or anxiety is usually you've inverted. So you've turned so much on yourself that you can't like see the bigger picture. And gratitude is one of the ways to get you out of there, to like, wait a second, I have all these resources and all this love and all these people who care for me and all this healthy food, and whatever you have, wherever you are, that'll instantly. So you see what I'm saying? Every single thing contributes to the beauty. And I just love like radiant humans, and I think that is the true beauty, is that when you see people who are like having a good time being themselves, they become really magnetic. Like magnetism is what is beauty, and it's what makes you stand out. That's the real like yogic beauty secret. Like the breath of fire that we do. We do that breath. It'll brighten your radiance a ton, remove negativity from the system. And we have, like friends in LA, actors, before an audition, you sit in your car, you set a timer, 3 minutes, 11 minutes. You just sit there and you do the breath. And then you're not the same as when you started. Like, it is so powerful. And you walk out and you're the brightest person in the audition room because your aura has just been like, boom,
nice.
And you've programmed it with a mantra like Satnam Satnam, which means, I am truth, or a mantra that you like. And then suddenly, they're like, I don't know, she just had something. Like, they never know what it is. This happens like in dating, in jobs, in whatever you're like, parenting. Like, I don't know, there was just like something made me want to listen to her. You could, like, you've seen, I mean, maybe you haven't, but like in auditions, just because we have lived in LA and have friends that are actors and stuff, they tell everyone to wear the same thing. Everyone's the same height. They have the same hair color. They look pretty much all the same. So the only thing that's really gonna stand you out, if you're all decent actors, is that one of you is a little bit shinier. It's like a little shine. So that's what we like to do. The greatest beauty secret is, I guess it would be probably the breath. And also, if you interview the yogis, the oldest yogis that they found, 150 like years old and stuff in the caves, and they say, what is your secret to longevity? It is the pranayama. They always say it is the pranayama. Yeah. So they do really powerful breath. And that's also just a fun way to replace drugs or any other ways that you're trying to get high. You could just get high on your own breath, which is really fun. And yeah,
Inaccessible.
and accessible and free.
Yes.
Save a lot of money.
Yes. Wow. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing this. What are your thoughts on how we manipulate our words, our vocabulary? How, because that's the command we're speaking out to the universe, and how we can, because there's also ways you can take delete or cancel or clear when you say something that you don't want. And one interesting thing that I learned is like you can either be blessing blissfully yourself with these words, or or not.
Yeah. Kind of like with everything else in Western culture now, it's all just kind of degrading and getting like lower and lower frequency. And so language is one of the things that needs to be restored. Also, like you said, we're not taught our power, which your most powerful tool is your own voice and the words you choose, the power of the spoken word. So I'm constantly working on that because I love to be sarcastic. And I was told that that's actually a really low frequency because you're basically lying. It's like a low frequency form of humor. I was like, no, because I love being sarcastic. How else can I be funny? So, there's different ways to take back our relationship with how we speak. And then gratitude, I think, is one quick way to flip the switch of the negative train. And you also don't have to say every thought out loud. When you have these, that gives it more power. So things that enter your head, and I'm proud of myself I'm getting better at that lately. It's just, you just let it run. You don't need to vocalize it because it's not going to go anywhere.
Yes.
So that's one of the ways. And we have all sorts of English and then other mantras to use to reprogram the mind and how we speak. But yeah, I think there's a definite all sorts of the language, just like in what's cool is weird. And also like taking vowels out of words is trending. You shorten a word, like brands will shorten a word and they'll take out some vowels, and the vowel is like where the energy actually is,
the sound.
So it sort of denatures and like takes the soul out of the sound.
Wow.
And that's part of the agenda of making everything like boring and dead. So it's just good to question everything, especially if it is very popular. Not to say everything popular is like wrong, and not to say everyone has to speak perfectly and never have a negative thought. It's just that we're in that understanding of where is my energy flowing.
Yes.
And your words are how you're going to change. So if you don't like your situation, don't like where I am, or I don't like my job, or I don't like how I feel about myself, or I don't like my family, or whatever you're going through, the words you choose have to change. And one of the big teachings is that like wherever you are is where you're on assignment now. So you might be thinking, oh, I can't wait till this happens, or I want to be there, or everything will be fine when this is done. But that just then your life just kind of becomes a rat race to the next thing. So if you really understand that no matter how much I might dislike the technical or the logistics or like whatever like thing that I'm in now, I'm cleaning the dishes or whatever the like dirty thing is, it's a deep practice to do it with integrity and importance.
Yes.
Even if it's like the dirty work, or when I never thought I'd be in this position, or whatever, humbling experiences. The gratitude, like fundamentally, life is a gift. And then everything that happens, like you kind of said, is either a blessing or a challenge. And a challenge you grow from, which leads to more blessings. So all roads lead to blessings.
Yes.
So we have to remember that. And also experiences are so valuable for our strength and our courage. So everything that we go through is just more tools in the toolbox for our success.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Where can our friends find you online, in person, and what are the upcoming events that you guys have that they can attend and participate? How can we support this community to keep growing and participating? And I really truly want to encourage everyone to participate from this, because it really changed your life and it can put you in a better place. So how can our friends have access to this?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram.
Yes.
Pritam Siri. And I teach at Rama, New York, in the Lower East Side of Manhattan in New York City. And we broadcast the classes live on our TV station called Rama TV, which is really fun. And it's you can get like a membership. It's like the Netflix of Kundalini Yoga. And I'm live on YouTube every Sunday for a free class.
Beautiful.
At 11 a.m. Eastern time. I also have a podcast.
Yes.
So there's just so many fun ways to do stuff. But just check out like the Rama TV YouTube. Join us live on Sundays. DM me if you have any questions and you want to know exactly where to start. Just like just dip your toes in. Like nobody's perfect. Nobody has to commit their life to being a perfect yogi. We're just trying to open up the pathways of freedom in everyone that we know and love, and whoever wants to experience more of their own creativity and gifts. That's just what this is for.
Yes. And you have other schools.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have Rama has a center in Los Angeles in Miss Santa Monica, which is gorgeous, and then one in Palma de Mallorca,
Yes.
in Spain.
Yes.
And we have so much fun. We have these 3 centers, and then we have trips all around the world where we do Kundalini trainings, and then we go travel to see sacred sites on the Rama Yatras, go to esoteric holy places, just places of power on the planet, and do all sorts of workshops. I love to teach on the new moon and the full moon because these days have a lot of power, so I do workshops on those days. There's just always the
equinox, the
chance
solstice.
to dip in. Yeah, the equinoxes, the solstices, and it's really like, it's not religious, it's not like pagan or anything like that. It's really scientific. It's really like a scientific understanding of esoteric and practical
in astrology,
knowledge.
Yeah. I personally have been practicing for the solstice and the equinox and the gates, Lion's Gate, and it really brings me a lot of powerful insight that is very meaningful to my life and to my choices as well. So
yeah, these are my
you.
favorite days. It's super fun. I love that. Not everyone will want to do that, but I like to live my life in the like quarter 1, 2, 3, 4 are equinox to solstice, solstice to equinox, equinox to solstice, and map it out and grid it out in that way. And then you're co-creating with the cosmos, which are already co-creating with you whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
You're just having a say in it a little bit.
Yes. Yes. Is there something else that you would like to add to our friends? And
we have a lot of good teachers in Espanol too.
Yes.
So, and we can't wait to travel more to Latin America and all these incredible places, and just spread these teachings and have fun and meet other people who are doing good on the planet. There's so many people who are sharing powerful teachings, and I have great respect for you.
I thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll have you soon in Nicaragua. Yes. And we want you to participate and come and be part of this gift on air right now.
Yeah, it's a major gift. And I guess the last thing I'll say is that when we're speaking about the subconscious, which runs most of our life, the subconscious mind, not the conscious mind, which is why, you might want to be a nice person and you want to do this and still you start screaming or whatever. That's because the subconscious, right, is more dominant than the conscious. Similarly, like, it takes a little bit of energy to do the practice, so just like put it on your calendar and then show up on the thing online, or reach out to us and do a practice with us, because the subconscious mind does not want to change. You consciously want to change, but there's a lot of pressure to get us to not change. And so it takes great courage to say that, like, okay, I'm going to start somewhere. I'm just going to start and see what happens, and then everyone around me will benefit. Our families also benefit immensely. Our roommates, people are like, roommates are like, well, I don't know what he's doing, but he's like a lot nicer to be around, right? Once he starts doing the yoga. So
it has an echo.
Yeah, it has an echo, which is your aura changes, your energy, and everyone around you feels better. It's so cool.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to receive you guys there, and I'm extremely grateful for making your way here to Puerto Rico, and I can definitely say that you guys with your presence here in the island open a gate to a new paradigm and energy to enter here, and like I feel peace was planted here this weekend with the whole practice that you did and the impact that it caused. We had people coming from all over the place that did this practice. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. See you soon.
See you soon.
Sat Nam.
Sat Nam.